game. After that ends on Sunday, talk about we will know at that point who the Orioles are going to be playing in the playoffs. So we'll be happy to talking about that. And also to our usual every Sunday night instant reaction to the Sunday night football game. A lot of stuff on Sunday. Happy to go over it. Let's talk football. Get down to the business of it. We had a game. Look, some of y'all aren't happy with the win. I understand that. I know. I get it. Wasn't pretty. Look, take it. Take it. Take it. We're not used to being 0-2, but we're 0-2. Now we're 1-2. Take the victory. The Squeals have been piling up ugly wins like that. We can certainly get one. Got to understand, close it down at the end. Close it down. I know that's an issue, but we got to go ahead and take the win. What happened in this game? Lamar, 12 of 15, 182, 1 TD. I don't think that's right. I think he did have, I'm going to fact check that out. He didn't have the one pick. I think it was clean. He didn't have one pick. He had one pick in the previous game. So he had 1 TD in this one as well, and 87 yards on the ground. So a good game, I thought, overall for Lamar Jackson. I thought he was they ran the ball like they should have. The Cowboys did not have a very good run defense, so they ran it a lot. This guy, this is exactly how you do it. 25 carries, 151, 1 TD. That looked like the Derrick Henry we've all been waiting for. And this one, what did they do in this one? Ran the ball on the left side. It's almost like they were listening to the podcast last week. Ran the ball on the left side. Don't try and run on the right side. The right side's horrible. So run the ball on the left side. That's exactly what they did a lot in this one. Give the ball to Derrick Henry. You got to adjust for a Derrick Henry and use him like this. I think they kind of smelled it up, the music. It took them a couple weeks to do that. I don't expect this every week, but certainly this was a good strategy. Think about it. The Cowboys had no interest in Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry might have actually won it. I think he might have actually preferred to play in Dallas. We never know. They never called him. But Derrick Henry made him pay for it on Sunday, 151. Not much in the air. One catch by Nelson Aguilar was sensational. Terrible angle by the Cowboy defender. Aguilar breaks it for 56 yards. I think that was the longest. I don't think that was a touchdown. I'm sorry. So I don't think that was a touchdown, but that was the longest run of the day. In fact, change that one as well. So 156. One catch for 56. So good job by the Ravens there, getting that there as well. I thought, not much. They ran it the whole game. Basically, they ran it on they ran the ball the whole game. Nothing really from Zay Flowers. I think he had 3 catches. I don't think Mark Andrews had one target the whole game. Didn't get that into the 4th. So that was odd. I think what you're seeing, the issue you're having, that right side was so bad that this is what they did. They gave help on that side or whatever, and Andrews never really got in the flow or whatever. I don't think he's all the way right. I mean, people keep trying to tell me he is. He doesn't look right to me. He looks a little off here so far. Colin Van Oy, 1 sack in this game. Van Oy and Daffy Oway have been fantastic. So worried so long for so many years about the pass rush. Ravens are finally getting pass rush from those outside linebackers, those edge rushers. They've been very good. I would say some of it is they're getting so much attention inside. Matabuke, Travis Jones, and Pierce, they get so much attention. I mean, they're putting 3 guys on Matabuke as you need to go ahead and do that. So I understand that, and these guys are taking advantage. They're getting home. They're taking advantage of the space, and they're actually getting sacks as well in this one. I thought the defense was very good for 3 quarters in this one. I thought most of it. I think more of it is on Zach Orr, the coaching staff. Frankly, seen this too many times. He even said it in the presser. Well, maybe we're a little bit too conservative. Everybody was talking about the offense. I'm talking about the defense. They were stuffing him pretty much all day. Brandon Stevens, I thought, was his best game all season. Marlon Humphrey's been playing well.
I thought the secondary was much, much better. That absolutely looked more like Kyle Hamilton in this game as opposed to any other game we've had all season long. So I thought they did much better as a whole in this game as well. But in the fourth quarter, conservative, prevent, backing off, lots of soft zone, whatever, and it allowed them to inch back in. And it almost, this is why you're blowing leads. It's not the conservatism on offense. I mean, that's some of that. That's true. You got to execute, you got to score. But I think it's the conservative nature of the defense. You're allowing, then your guys get tired, et cetera, et cetera. This is why you're blowing leads. You're not aggressive enough on defense late in the game. Now, look at these stat line by Prescott, kind of proving my point. 28 for 51, 379, and 2 TDs. Ravens last in the league in passing. A lot of that was the fourth quarter stuff that I just talked about. A lot of the day, uh, Prescott was fairly contained. He didn't have a lot of big plays, but a lot of that was late. He scored a lot of yards, et cetera, et cetera. Ravens didn't do well at the end. Gotta tighten up. You were doing so well for 3 quarters. It wasn't just you're tired at the end of the game. People keep saying it's not just you're tired at the end of the game. You're not being aggressive. You're stuffing them all day. Keep stuffing them, right? That's what you want to do. Good day. Prescott's pretty good. No run game at all from the Cowboys. Rico Dale, 8 carries for 32 yards. Zeke Elliott was also there. I think he not no run game for the Cowboys. Definitely a weakness. We thought it might be. They didn't run the ball. Definitely Ravens D line was getting a lot of penetration. I already mentioned how good Matabuke has, how much pressure Matabuke, Travis Jones, and those guys have been getting. Weak Cowboy run game. We haven't seen much teams run the ball. Ravens, number 1 in the NFL with run game. They have 50 yards. NFL teams that are playing the Ravens are only getting 50 yards on the ground. Part of why, part of the problem they're having in the air, teams aren't getting anything on the ground, so they're throwing more. So as well. Jake Ferguson had the most yards, I believe, in the air for the Cowboys. I think he had like 50, I think it was like 60 yards. I know like this, but 4 for 67 for CeeDee Lamb. I think that was a pretty good day for him. It's fairly contained, fairly contained. I think some people were, I thought some people were mad that Nate Wiggins was on him a little bit. They kind of switch off. They don't really leave one guy on one guy the whole game. So they had Nate Wiggins on them. Some, I thought Brandon Stevens was on there. Some, Marlon Hartford was some. I think they did just fine in man to man. I don't know why we're seeing all this on. I thought I saw the man to man, and I thought this was very good. You got a good quarterback, good wide receiver. I thought they did very well when they're going against man to man. This guy was fairly contained. Micah Parsons, 4 tackles. I thought Parsons would have a big game against that against the struggling left side of the Ravens they have Daniel Falele and Pat McCary. So I thought that was an area that I was really concerned about. Ravens actually did very well. They kind of stayed away from him, right? They actually held it on the left side. They ran all that stuff to the left side. They actually put 3 guys on Parsons. You saw a lot of Charlie Kolar in their blocking. You saw a lot of Pat Card in their blocking. I think that contributed to the fact that they didn't have receiver. I don't know if the Ravens played 3 wides the whole game. So they really made an effort on Parsons, and Parsons really was fairly contained in this one. So he didn't have a game where he went crazy. So the Ravens 28-25 over the Dallas Cowboys. Couple things. The right side of the line isn't any better. Okay, so let's get that out the way right now. I'm seeing. I saw too many places where no, they were much. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. I think they're. I'm surmising that a couple years ago we saw at the linebacker we had Patrick Queen at the Mike linebacker with Malik Harrison, and it didn't go so well, right? So what they did was wasn't going well, and so what they did was they put Harrison on the bench, put Pat Queen at the other linebacker, and put Josh Burns at the Mike, right? And that worked much better. Okay. And then eventually they got Roquan Smith, etc. So what am I talking about with the line? I'm pretty sure Falele feels more comfortable with McCary. That's why he's playing. That's got to be what it is. Him and Rosengarten not playing well together, and I think that's why we're seeing more McCary. Also, too, Rosengarten is more of a zone blocker. So, like, if they play zone all the time, and in this one, you saw a lot less of that. The more straight ahead stuff, more in a Falele skill set. I think that's the reasons for it as well. And he's just being stubborn again. As well. This is what they're gonna rock with until otherwise. So this is your starting linebacker. So they're gonna get a fourth start there this week. And the toughest game of the season, I think, so far. Buffalo, I think, has been looked better than any team in the league. So this is going to be a tough challenge. The blackout is going to happen Sunday night game. Definitely get a black Ravens jersey at RavenResports.co.site for the game Sunday. You can go ahead and get that. And so Bills have looked really good. I think this is going to be a tough challenge. I do think the Ravens match up in some areas really good with Buffalo. Lamar, 708 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception. He did have the 1 interception in the game with Bateman. I think Lamar's been sensational. I think the circumstances that he's been put in, the way he has played, I'm very happy with Lamar. I think he's shown more leadership. He's kind of like, no, hop, get off the phone. If you saw the video, telling Marlon Humphrey Instagram video, hey man, you shouldn't be filming on here. Not happy after a win, even after they won. Very focused. Love to see that as well. Lamar is definitely developing into the leadership role of the team. Outstanding stuff. Derrick Henry looked exactly what it was as advertised in this one. 56 carries, 281 for the year, 4 TDs. That's what it looks like last week. I think you got to me, I think it's pretty simple to go ahead, and that's the formula. I will say this is not the Dallas Cowboys they're playing this week with a Derrick Henry in that formula. This is a much, much better defensive line, probably one of the better defensive lines end to end in the league when you're talking about the Bills. But run the football. Run the football, run it on that left side. You eventually at some point you got to run it on the right side. But that's definitely what you want to do. Run the ball, Derrick Henry. Flowers kind of got lost in this one. In the last one, 16 carries total, 285, 1 TD for the season. For Zay, I'm sure he's getting a little frustrated. I mean, this Ravens receivers are frequently frustrated as well. They're not running 3 wides. They're going to run the ball a lot. Lamar's going to run the ball a lot. So, understandable. I got no problem with Zay here so far. Little worried about Andrews, if anything, because they're just not looking for him. I mean, they're just not looking for him. And plus, again, they need so much blocking help up front. It's hard to get him in the rhythm. I'd like to see Zay Flowers and Andrews get packages for them early before you start running the football, get them in the flow. I think that'll help. Kyle Van Noy, 4 sacks, has been outstanding this year. Him and Oweh as well. I'm still surprised he's on the field after that injury the first week. He's got a orbital injury. Back of your eye is injured. The fact that he's out there at all playing, that's incredible, and playing well, having a good season, getting a lot of attention. Like I mentioned, defensive line is getting a lot of attention. Van Noy is taking advantage of it. Adapo, etc., is taking advantage of it. They're playing well here. 4 sacks, great start for them. Josh Allen might be the MVP of the league here so far. 634 yards, 7 TDs, no interceptions. That's the thing. The Bills' offense, if you haven't seen them this year, is going to look a little different than it's been. Bills' offense, they had for so long, they had Stephon Diggs. They threw a lot of downfield stuff as well. This is going to be more traditional. They are running the ball more. James Cook, 41 carries, 188, 3 touchdowns as well. They're going to run the ball a lot. I think this is kind of their strength now. So a lot of that firepower they had on the outside, they don't have it anymore. So they're kind of running more traditional. You're seeing Josh Allen runs more Josh Allen always did run a lot, but it's not just him. James Cook is a big part of their offense. I think he's probably their most effective offensive player outside of Josh Allen. Bigelow, definitely a good challenge for a good Ravens offensive defensive line. They haven't really had that yet. They haven't seen a ball carrier to this level yet, right? You have great numbers. You've only been giving up 50 yards a game, but you haven't played a guy like this yet as well. So the receivers are gone. Stephon Diggs is now in Houston. Dalton Kincaid, I think, is probably the guy that you need to watch the most in Buffalo. He 8 receptions, 885, 1 TD as well. They got young Keon Coleman in the draft, Curtis Samuel. These guys are not even the leading receivers. So they are a work in progress on offense. I do think this is a good matchup for our corners as well. Being aggressive. Want Zach Orr to have them aggressive in the game, right? Match them up. Line up Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Nate Wiggins. Line them up, match them up. Do that. Absolutely do that in this game. They have the firepower. You got a bunch of young receivers, not a lot of A-plus receivers. Match them up, be physical down the field. Force them in the run game. You have and see how that goes. See if you can line up at the line of scrimmage as well. I was wrong. I got to admit, I was wrong about Buffalo's defense. Von Miller looks like Von Miller. Last year, he was a healthy scratch, didn't play well at all after his injury, questioning whether he had to take a pay cut, whether to stay back. This is the Von Miller we've known for all of his career, all those years in Denver, etc. So Von Miller is back. Not just Von Miller, Greg Rousseau is there, and Oliver, I think, is one of the most underrated players in the league. They're still missing Matt Milano. AJ Presenza is there as well for them. They did have to replace those 2 great safeties. DeMar Hamlin, despite all the talk last year with his injury as well, surprisingly won the safety job. He looks fantastic at safety. So their defense is also strong as well. They haven't played exceptionally well, in my opinion, but I think definitely the talent is there as well, and they're scoring a lot of points. So I definitely think that is going to be a factor in the game. Buffalo's defense is really good. So definitely it'd be a challenge there, strength on strength at the line of scrimmage. This game absolutely is going to be one at the line of scrimmage. X factor. Bateman, let's see if they can get the receiver, him more involved. Well, as well. You know they want to go to Andrews and you want to have Andrews and Zay Flowers involved. I always think the more you get Bateman involved, the more yards you're going to get in the pass game. Let's see the strategy here as well. Let's put an X also on Marcus Williams. Marcus, a little better last game. Marcus doing a little better in this last game. They're going to need him. This is a good opportunity for Marcus playing against an experienced group of receivers here as well. You know they're going to do the thing with Kyle Hamilton. Good opportunity for Marcus to play center field. I think the Ravens do squeak this one out. 27-24. I don't think the Bills' offense is going to be as potent against the Ravens' defense in this one. I don't. I think you can contain the run as good as James Cook is, but the game here is going to be won at the line of scrimmage. If they can actually control what's happening at the line of scrimmage, and I think they will, I think they can go ahead and beat Buffalo. Bigger concern is the offensive line on their right side against that outstanding front of Denver, but I think they're going to scheme that up. You're going to see a lot like what you see last week, a lot more Ricard, a lot more Kolar, Justice Hill, likely stuff quick out of the backfield. 27-24. Ravens also to absolutely more sense of urgency. I mean, they won last week, but they're 1-2. You don't want to go 1-3 even in this division. There you go. So definitely check out the game on Sunday night. Big time game for the Ravens. Look, couple losses here in the division. Bengals, I don't know what's going on.